Welcome back. Let's continue doing the editing of this page. So we did these up here, and now we're actually going to be continuing down and doing the rest of this page. Also, we need to be doing these bars here as well. So I'm going to show you how to do those. And then once we're done that, we're going to go down here and do these ones. So let's do this one. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit with Visual Composer. Okay. And we're going to come down here. Oh, it's disappeared. So if I highlight my mouse over this area, I can see that there's this bar that's just up here that's kind of hidden. And the reason why is I think it's because it's tucked so closely up to this one that you don't even see anything. But I'm going to click Edit Column and see what it has. I have nothing here. Okay, so what happens is if you don't see an element, like it's supposed to be here, but it's not, it could be because of the way that the page is being displayed. It's being a little bit ornery. There's a way around that. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you go up here to the backend editor, what that's going to do is it's just going to bring us to a less visual way of editing of the same page. But we have everything laid out for us. So here's that revolution slider, which we're going to do. That's the nice banner that's there. And then right here, right below that is the next section. We have these call to actions that we did, which are the ones right here. These are the 3 call to actions. Okay, up here are the ones that were being hidden. So we can go here and actually edit them directly here. So I'm going to do the first one, and we can see that because it has this little square bracket, it's a short code on a button. So, but if I go up here, I can see more on this. You see how you scroll up, just like we had in before. For some reason, it just wants to go right to the actual WYSIWYG editor. But going up here, we can say, let's say you have a brand new product. That's what they're showing here in this example. So here's a new like fishing hook, and it's saying under accessories, we can put it under hooks if that's the category I had for that. Okay, and down here, this is just a button. So the way that they got that was through this little thing here. And what that did, so I can do it myself. Here, I'll just go over here and just click button. And it'll ask me, do I want a small, medium, big? Let's say this one. I can have where it's going to be located. So if I have a product, I can get the link to that product, right? By /product. And you can get that by actually going to your site, finding the product that you want to do. Let's say this product here. And I can't wait until we get some pictures going. You can see the link up here. So like I said before, these 2 little slashes, I'm just going to copy these and I'm just going to paste that right here. So let's say that's where I'm going to go. So the target is, do I want to let the person go directly when they click on the link? It just refreshes the page to the new link. If I click this blank, what it'll do is it actually opens up a new window or a new tab, and that's where it goes. So that's the difference between the two if you don't want them to leave your current page. Generally, I like to use blank if I'm sending people off of my website to some other website. Otherwise, you want to use current window. If you do have an icon there, which we're not going to use, that's using those font awesome icons. Okay, and then the title. We can go, we can call this right? So see it, right? And click OK. So it just created this little shortcut, short code. I'll delete the old one here. Okay, and there we go. So let's just see what that looks like. I'm just going to save it and look up here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I didn't change the picture. So here it is. I've just changed this to my thing. I'm going to save it. So you can click update. It's going to update the page. Okay, now if I go back to my front page here, should have done something different. So here we go. If I hover my mouse over. Now when I did this, I noticed that this really got messed up here. See these big texts? Something happened to my thing after I edited this. So I'm going to go find out exactly. So I'm going to click back on here, and I notice when I scroll down here, it's saying this, hey, I'm the first heading line, feel free to change me. I think that's exactly what it's saying up here. So I don't know what happened, but we can fix that. If we go up here to the top, see where it says revisions 5? I can click browse, and the cool thing about this is I should be able to return to a previous version. And then I do that by just clicking here. So there was there was this one. I'm going to try to restore this version. Okay. And it's been restored. So back to that previous date, and so I'm just going to click on go here and see, and I refresh the page here, and we can see that it's back to the way it was before. We lost what we did up here, so it looks like there's a conflict, and I have a feeling it has to do with these icons that we put there. So I'm going to test. I'm actually going to take these icons out and just put words in there and try it, just as a step. And that's fine if that's the problem, because we can do all of the, this is the only element that's giving us a problem that requires us to use the back-end editor in Visual Composer. The rest of this stuff we can use the front-end editor for. And I can always put these icons back the way I had them. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save those, and I'm going to just put text in here. So let's do that now. Edit with Visual Composer. So I'm just editing this page. Okay, and I'm just going to edit this element. Now, what I want to do, what I don't want to do is lose this information here. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut that, and I'm going to paste it in a notepad, so that I can just copy and paste it back. Okay, I've pasted it there. Okay, I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to put that I there and save. Okay, it's going to be too big, but that's okay. And I'm going to do this one as well. And this was the handshake, so I'm going to cut that out. Okay, and save the changes, paste that here. Okay, and close. And this one. All right. And whoops, I didn't do that there. Okay, and we're just going to change that too. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Okay, and so there we go. So now I have it. That's fine. So we'll leave that there. We're going to come back to this. I'm just going to update it until the little thing comes and says update. All right, now we're going to fix these elements that we were supposed to do before. So I'm going to go to the backend editor again. Okay, and we're going to change this. So we're going to run a test to make sure that this works the way we need it to. Okay, so we had deleted this one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it in there because it had this medium bordered, and I want to. That's this. So when I'm on the front page, which I can go back. You know how it has this nice white sort of border around. I can use that this medium bordered to replicate that. So to do that, I'm just going to remember this, because if I delete this, it should give me an option. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that and click this themes, the eTheme shortcut button here, and click button and style. So you saw it had style there, and if I scroll down, I see medium bordered. That was the option there. Now the URL is the URL to the page that we want to have that button lead us to. Now this one, I want to make it about a brand new product. So let's have them go to the particular product that we want them to. So I'm just going to go to the home page to find the product. Now the product we want is this, for instance, this one, and I'm going to pretend this is my new hook for fishing, and I have the URL up here. And again, we just want to copy this part of it. Okay, and so I'm copying that and pasting that in here. Okay, and now this target here, it's showing, do we want to do it in the current window or a blank window? So this is if somebody clicks on that button, do you want it just to refresh that same page and it goes to the new link that you just put there? Or do you want it to open up a new tab or new window? I use new or blank, which is opening in a new window, if I am leading somebody off of my website. Now, if you are doing that, then that way it keeps them still in your website, but opens up another tab for them to go to somewhere else, and that keeps them on your website. Okay, and I'm not putting an icon on this, but I am changing the button text, and I'm going to say new hook. Okay, and I'm clicking OK. So that's the button that's going to be. Or no, how about this? Instead of new hook, I'm going to say see it, like that. Okay. Now, if I scroll up on this, okay, I've got some more options here. So I'm going to click new Gateway Gold Watch. I'm going to change that to new hook. And then we're going to click on this accessories. We're going to say hooks. Okay. And we're going to save that. Perfect. Now we're going to be testing how we had this. See how we have this I and CSS here? Okay, so that's, we had the font awesome there, and I'm going to see if it works this time without it resetting on me, how it did before. And it looks like it didn't. It still has those. So it looks like I can't, if I'm using those font awesome icons, I can't do the backend editor here, this backend editor. When I have those in there. So I want to make sure that there's nothing else here that I want to edit in the back. Now you can do the whole session of editing your page directly from this view. So you can be in this view here, edit it, update it like this, then go to the page that you're editing, like I'm editing the front page. And you can go back and forth between here, editing these and coming back and doing it here, okay? But in this case, I don't think there's anything here that I need to worry about editing in this backend now. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window now. And I'm just going to stick now to editing here. So I've refreshed it and you can see now I have this, new hooks thing. Actually, you know what? I'm also going to put a picture here. I think we need to have a nice picture in here. And let's do all of these in the backend first before we go, because this is the element that we need to do with the backend editor. So we can click up edit page here as well, and that'll bring us to the back again. And this should, if you don't have this and it's all weird, you can make sure you've clicked on backend editor here. So let's finish editing these ones. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to edit the rest of these. And then once I've done that, I'm also going to add pictures. So I will unpause that and show how to do that. So I'm just going to add some more text on these ones. Okay, so I've finished those edits. So I just refreshed the page now. I didn't put any of the URLs like I did up here to the products. And the reason why I did that is just for time. But the URL that you put in here, so I can edit this shortcode directly through this, or I could have created it on the button here. But you only get this button dialog once, and then you can just edit them directly inside the shortcode here. Now, each of these have their own functions. So the first one I put is receive a coupon here, and the URL would be to a page that I have maybe certain coupons that I'm promoting. Now, keep in mind, this might have not been on your mind map. So as you're building the site, you might say, hey, you know what? I didn't think of that and I wanted that on my site. you can do that. Obviously, it's you know, you're not stuck to your site, your mind map that you made for your site. You can add more pages. So here, what I would do is I'd actually write down on Notepad. So if I have my Notepad open, where I save this, I can put some information here. Is, you know, to do. Well, we need to create a page for coupons. Okay, so, and then update. Okay, so we can update the front part, block page to link to it. Or what I like to do is actually create the page. So here in this case, I have receive a coupon. I can create the page right away, which is much better to do. So I'm going to open up, oops, not posts. We want pages. We're going to click add new. I'm just right clicking it, open in a new page. Okay, and we're going to say coupons. So that's the page name. And now I don't have to edit anything right now. I'm just going to publish that just to get my link. Now you see here I have it already set. And so now I made a reminder to myself that I just not create a page, this update for coupons. Okay, and we don't need to do this anymore because we're doing it now, and it gets it out of the way. So now that I have this, I can go back to where I was editing this short code, and I can put, you know, slash coupons, right? And that will bring the person to the coupons page. And later on, when we do our pages, we will remember to do our coupons pages, but we already have it linked, which is nice. I'm going to save it. So that's how I would do that, and then go through the next one and the next one until you have everything. On this one, so free line, which is a product that I would say put on there, like fishing line, right? So I would have a page maybe dedicated to learning how I can get a free line. Like say I made a deal where one of the products have a bundle of 5 hooks, and if you buy 5 hooks, you get free line in it. So maybe this learn more page goes to a page that I have information on, a bundle that I've created, and in that bundle, free line is included in it. So that's what I would do, and then of course then I would link that URL to that, and I would save it. Okay, and so now there's actually 4 showing here, 4 different ones, but when I actually go to the page, I only see 3. Why is that? Well, it's actually because the way that this element is created is that it actually, when the page shrinks, it actually, some of these disappear. So when I go like this, you can see that it only shows me 1 here, and it doesn't list them down. So that's the way that this particular element reacts. And then when it grows, it keeps adding more and more and more. So here we go. Now I see that one. And so on and so forth. So if I had a really nice big screen, you would see all 4 blocks, but we don't. We only see 3. So because it acts like that, I probably want to put the most important one on the first one, and then have them, in this case, go less and less. Now there's lots of elements like these elements here that stack. So when I shrink it, they stack one on top of another as I go down, and that's fine. This one doesn't stack, it just sort of shrinks or has these pieces disappear as it gets smaller. So just keep that in mind when you're building the site, that you're testing what it looks like on a mobile device, so that you have the most relevant information for the mobile devices. Okay, so going through, just finding my place back. So here we're still editing these. So these are the 4, and I've created ones for each. Now what we want to do is add an image to that. So that'll be next. So let's do that now. So I'm going to go to the first one here and click this little writing edit button. Okay, and up at the top, so I'm looking for, hey, where do I put this? Where do I put an image? I don't see it here. So you know, you're not seeing it here. So then I look up here, there's a tab, image. Okay, so we have one here. It has this little X, but that's because this theme brought in a blank image, and they did that for licensing reasons. The image that is on the demo belongs to them on the demo, but it doesn't belong to us on our page because we didn't pay for those pictures. So we have to put our own. So what we can do is we can actually click on this plus button, and it's going to bring us to the image that we had selected, which is down here. And one key indicator is that we need to keep aware of is its size. Here, because I've got it here, it looks like it is 850 by 500. And so that is the image size that they've used for theirs. So that's the image size I want to make sure that I replicate to make sure it works properly on the front end here. Okay. So to do that, I'm just going to get rid of some of these tabs so we're not confusing here. And so I'm going to actually upload another image that is this size to give me what we need. Now, I have another video later on creating images, and we're going to be using a program to do that. Feel free to jump down to that video if you like, if you want to see how to update images or add images to your site, and then that way you can utilize that information to do this. Or if you already know how to do that, or you already have some pictures, if you can resize it, make sure it is 850 by 500. We're going to be doing that next. So I'm going to upload a picture, and I'm just going to pause this and get that done. Okay, so I've uploaded the new image to this here, and so here it is, and it's exactly the same size that I had on the other one, and I'm going to set. So I'm pretending, now this is not obviously what I'm actually selling. I'm just doing this is an example, but pretending that this is my new product. So I'm putting that on there, and I'm going to go ahead and save changes. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm going to click update. Okay, so you saw I added it on there, and I saved the changes. So now I have the image, and I'm going to go to my front page, and I'm going to hit F5 to refresh it. Should come in with a nice page. So here we go. There's my new page. Now, as you can see that there's a color over top of it. I might not be keen on that color. Maybe I want it a little bit more maybe more opaque, or maybe a different color. So I can go back and do that. So I'm going to click on that same thing here and go to where I would hopefully find that. So here we go. This is image opacity. This is the background color here. So let's say I didn't like that. Maybe I like something a little bit more. Let's see if it'll give me a color selection. Okay, it's not going to. So if you don't have the ability to find or select a color here, sometimes it gives you a palette. You can open up the color hexing page. So I'll just show that. So I've opened up this page, like color-hex.com, and I can look for like maybe a gray, sort of a gray color here. And you can also click on this little thing and sort of drag it. Maybe you want a lighter gray, or maybe you want to have a little bit of a tinge. It's up to you obviously what color, and it's going to give me the actual hex code up here at the top, or I can copy the one that is suggested to me here, right? And I can go back here and paste that in. Now, it automatically pushes this little hashtag button, which is important to have there. Okay, and this one we can do, let's say image opacity. I'm going to maybe turn it up a little bit more, so it's 6, and see if that fixes anything. Okay, so let's go there. Whoops. So whenever you do something, make sure you update the page. There we go. And I'm going to hit Control F5 to force a refresh on the page. Let's see how it changes it. There we go. So now it's looking a little bit more cooler, right? It's especially because the background here has a metal look to it. So that's looking a little bit more stylish. So I'm going to be doing that for the next set of these things here, and get some pages in there and make it look nice. So I'll be using the exact same process for that. So there we go. We've done all these elements now, and I created the pages that were missing for each of these so that I can go back and add that information to it later. And I've written that down for myself so that I know and remember where those are and what I need to go back to do to create those pages. So these are done, and now if I go up and I open up the page, so I can just right click on that, the permalink for the front page, it's going to open up. And I should have my elements here, okay? And each of those will go to a real page, okay? And so that's it for that. So in the next videos, we're gonna continue down doing the rest of these, and we're also gonna fix this back to what we wanted to put there. So for some reason, these fields don't like the font awesome, but we're gonna force it in there by editing the front page part. And I think we could do the rest of this editing on the front page by using the Visual Composer in the front end part. So we'll see you in the next video.